Everybody has an opinion.
No, I don't think so.
I employ that bloke for when gigs are going bad.
To look incredibly rock and roll.
How would you cook that?
Be more entertaining. I'm glad you like that. It's a little bit of weed.
Hey,
Whoa.
welcome back.
Welcome back, and we're back in Melbourne.
We're back in Melbourne for episode 10.
10. We have smashed the seven episode glass ceiling.
We sure have. We've hit double digits. We're big boys now.
I'm a big boy now.
Yeah.
It's a nappy ad,
Pull-ups,
isn't it?
yeah,
Pull-ups, yeah. Well, that's very poignant because we have in that intro we have the face of pull-ups for older people.
Bev Gillick.
Bev Gillick, that's right.
Which,
And-
I'm glad you like that. It's a little bit of weed.
Pull-ups for older people are Poise, by the way. Or for older women.
oh, are they? Boys.
Poise. Big fan of. I have a joke about Poise. It's a visual joke. It has, what is your bladder control level? Is it light, which is laughing and sneezing, intermediate, which is lifting and coughing, and then heavy?
Yeah.
And when I turned 35, I said, I'm this old now.
Oh, right.
The middle category.
That's a weird name to call it, Poise.
Poise,
Which
yeah.
sounds like pause, which is something you can't do when you're trying to take a piss and you're older. You try to stop that stream, midstream. You can't pause.
Yeah, I think that might be more a guy thing.
Yeah, probably is.
Yeah. That's a party trick that I can't show you guys because you can't see it.
Yeah,
you could
right.
probably record it.
Pissing yourself is also a party trick.
Sure.
And I've seen a few of those in my years, but you don't have to be over 50 for that. I think you can be in your teens.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're back in Melbourne. We're in the studio in South Melbourne, and it's good to be home. A little less humid.
Yeah.
Sydney was humid.
Sydney was very humid, but very pleasant as well.
Yeah, it was great. It was noisy though because we're in Newtown, which is an old town, and they built an airport. I guess the Newtown was around a lot earlier than Flight.
Sure.
Yeah, literally. And the aeroplanes going overhead. I just got used to it after a while.
Yeah, I didn't mind. I've been to Sydney a number of times over the years, and I don't mind the sort of pause in conversation that everyone naturally has as a plane goes over.
Yeah. Well, look, if you hear a large 737, 747 going over where we are in South Melbourne, buy gold.
Just like an aeroplane, that one went right over my head.
That's a 9/11 joke. All right, let's move on.
All right, comedy news. Adam Sandler.
Yeah, know the guy. He's a comedian.
Know him personally, do you?
I know. Well, I know him. I knew him before he was popular.
You probably knew him before me.
From
Because
shows.
what generation are you?
Generation X people.
Hey.
Click, click.
Adam Sandler's just been recognised at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival, honoured with the Molten Modern Master Award. That's in recognition of his long-term influence in comedy across stand-up, film and television.
Yeah, one of the most wealthy comedians of all time because I think he produces, not only does he act in, but he produces as well, and that's really where the money is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What are your fave Adam Sandler films, Murray?
Oh, look, he's a bit too slapstick for me.
You're the best, I'm the worst.
I mean, I do like that one, Gilmore. What's that one?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore, where he's I like the juxtaposition of being a ice hockey player meets a golfer.
Yep.
And the two sports being radically different in mindset, yet similar in the point that you have to hit a ball or a puck in one case. So I like that juxtaposition, what if
Is that good?
scenario. I guess that's good. But no, he's just a bit too slapstick for
Sure.
me.
As a millennial, I'm a massive Adam Sandler fan. I'm going to list off my ones, which is Big Daddy, which taught me to clean up all messes and piss, cereal, milk, just by putting newspaper over the top.
That was the one where he kind of wants to give the child that he's adopting or something.
He comes into
free.
an unfortunate possession of a child that is not his,
That's
but
right.
because he's living in his friend's apartment and pretending to be that guy.
Yeah.
I think to avoid a girl or something, not
Right.
this girl though, he ends up adopting this kid, falls in love with the girl who's working at the adoption agency or something like that.
Something like that. And the idea is that we shouldn't have rules, and this is a movie about getting rid of all rules, living life freely, and then, of course, for a child, that's awful.
Yeah, sure. One of my favourites, Little Nicky.
And he loves you.
Little Nicky was huge for me growing up, and at school we'd always quote, I guess you'd never seen it, he played the son of the devil, but he was the loser runt son, and the other two were like the big tough sons, and they go up to Earth and cause chaos, and he has to go and save the day. Hilarious movie, one of the first films I saw with a talking animal. Very cool. I'll put in a little Nicky, I will eat your heart sound right here.
I will eat your heart.
Yeah. What about, is it 51st Date? Was that?
Oh, with Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore. That's
Yep.
probably the only one I could really relate to because it was a bit more serious, wasn't it?
Sure.
She had amnesia and he had to keep he had to keep meeting her. She didn't like him and eventually.
Well, yeah, they were married and she got amnesia. And so he loved her as his
that's
wife.
right. That's right.
But to hear, that was, which leads perfectly into the fact that Adam Sandler's really not anymore, but he was really underrated as a really good serious actor. The first time I saw him do a serious role was Click, which I'm not sure if you've seen.
No.
Basic premise is he finds a TV remote that works the exact same as a pause, rewind, things like that, but in life.
Yep.
Ends up having a fantastic time, doing whatever he wants, completely changes his life, then breaks the remote and realises he misses his family, his wife, his old life, and he can't get it back, which leads into Uncut Gems, which I recommend you watch as homework. Fantastic. His most serious role. He got awards for it. Very cool.
Maybe I'll give him another crack. How's that sound?
Yeah, see him through a bit of a different lens, perhaps.
Well, talking about comedians that do movies, not as well known as a movie actor, Jim Jeffries. I know you went to see him last night at the Comics Lounge in Melbourne.
I did. He was a surprise mystery drop-in, so that was
Surprise.
a surprise.
Yeah, although you kind of suspected it, didn't you? Or
I thought it was going to be Jimmy Carr.
Oh, another Jim. All right, but not the Jim you thought. And funny enough, it's not even Jim. Jim Jeffries is actually Jeffrey.
Oh.
His actual real name, this is the one that he gets through customs. I guess it's probably the reason he can get through customs, is actually Jeffrey James Nugent.
And it's Jeffrey with a G.
Jeffrey with a, so he's gone Jim with his middle name and then he's created Jeffries. Now, interesting thing, do you know the origin story of Jeffries, his surname?
No.
So when he was in Australia and the UK, he was using Jeffries, Jeff, Jeffries. But then when he went to the US and he had to sign up to their union, the ACTA or APTA, you have to have a unique name. So if your name was, say, Michael J. Fox, you would have to become Michael J.J. Fox. Right? Or Michael Fox if there was no Michael Fox. In his case, there was already a Jim Jeffries, so he had to become Jim Jeffries. Yeah.
Added another E.
And apparently I've heard of, I believe that the original Jim Jeffries was an 80s actor from Miami Vice,
Right.
And wasn't really in the scene, but had probably paid his membership every year, so had to be that. So Jim Jeffries,
and it was great to see. It was a great lineup actually last night. Doug Chappell hosting. It was all new material, professional comedians at the Comics Lounge in North Melbourne.
Oh wow, Doug Chappell's a great comedian. We should get him on this podcast.
I reckon we should. He's got some pretty cool cruise stories. I reckon.
I keep up to date with his cruises on his. I follow him on his socials. He's in Fiji here or Noumea, beautiful part of the Pacific.
I'll have to link for those of you listening. I do every year. I repost it. I cut out Doug Chappell and put myself dressed up as him. I painted abs on and everything and his tattoos, holding Frangelico bottles because they're all stock standard poses for Doug. You know, there's the one at the beach holding his arm up, and there's the one where he's like behind the audience holding his arm up, and there's the one where he's like delivering a punchline holding both of his arms out, you know.
Yeah.
Standard Doug Chappell. We'll definitely get him on.
Yeah, well, we know if he's had a stroke. His arm's not up. Quick, call 000.
And we'll know if he's had a political change because only one of them will be up.
Oh,
right?
that's right. No, of all people who would be persuaded to become a Nazi, I think he's the least likely.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd have him, to be honest.
No.
All right, other comedy news. Ben Bunkus.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Ben.
I wasn't either
No.
until I read that his 6 sold-out shows in Minnesota were cancelled by the venue.
Right. Now, so an American comedian, he's in Minnesota. It's the middle of winter in Minnesota, and I think it's like minus 20 degrees Celsius or colder.
Yeah, it snows there, right?
Oh, well, absolutely. And the other thing I know about Minnesota is not only is there snow, there's a lot of ice.
I get it.
That's right. an ICE agent recently has been charged with the homicide of Renee Good, who was shot in her vehicle during an ICE investigation, raid, I don't know, depends what you want to call it. He made a joke in Minnesota very, very soon after. And the comedy club Laugh Camp Comedy, it's downtown St. Paul for any locals. It has dropped all of the shows that were scheduled to take place, citing heightened threats, increasing media attention and civil disorder. The owner did say that they are a small club and they just don't have the resources to handle the backlash, which I think is fair.
Yep. No, fair enough. It's challenging. I do remember Tim Ferguson from the Doug Anthony All-Stars saying with respect to the Challenger space shuttle disaster that they had a joke written before that thing had hit the water. But that's probably them telling that in very, very long hindsight. Yeah.
Sorry, look, Richard's mother was killed this morning in a horrifying car crash. A little bit of time's gone by, we can laugh about it now.
But it's making jokes about a woman getting shot in her own car by an ICE agent is very difficult to make a joke about, particularly in that town.
I think the main thing for me is probably the time sensitivity. I've seen comedians tell very risky jokes about subjects that have happened a little. I think it is that thing. You've just got to wait a little bit or be very good at what you do.
Right. So my 9/11 joke earlier was fine.
Look, let's put that to a vote. Actually, 9/11 jokes, yay or nay?
Yay or nay?
Yeah, so I don't know much about Ben Bankus, but I guess what has happened is he's done exactly what he wanted to do. Get noticed.
He got noticed. He sure did.
And he's getting noticed from Melbourne.
He is. Hopefully not noticed by any of the ICE agents. Although having looked at his picture, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, I think he's a middle-aged white man. Yeah.
Speaking of middle-aged white men, Will Arnett.
I've made a huge mistake.
One of my favourite middle-aged white men has gotten some acclaim for a new film. Is this thing on?
Yeah, question mark. Is this thing on?
It is. Is this thing on? Question mark.
Yeah.
It was actually produced and filmed and released, I guess, in 2025. It's directed and co-written by Bradley Cooper, another big comedy heavyweight.
Yeah.
Arnett plays a recently separated man who drifts into stand-up comedy while navigating divorce and co-parenting. So for people within the comedy scene, that just sounds like a regular open mic, a regular Tuesday audience. It's set in New York, the New York comedy scene, and it treats stand-up as a coping mechanism rather than the rise and grind success story. I actually haven't seen it yet. It came out in Australia on February the 5th and is still in theatres, so I will probably go and check that out.
Well, we have to see it because, I don't know if you know this.
I don't know if you know this, kids.
But I made a show by exactly the same title, but I made it 5 years earlier.
Ooh.
Yes, also called Is This Thing On? And it came out and it has its own IMDb profile.
Wow.
And it is about a comedy situation as well. A little bit different than this example. This was obviously a scripted. It's based loosely on a true story of a up-and-coming comedian who accidentally fell into comedy. Ours, Is This Thing On? Was about 10 new comedians who had just started doing comedy. And over 6 nights, they got coached by professional comedians like Bradford Oakes, Glyn Nicholas from Wales originally and was on The Big Gig. Greg Fleet was there. We had Mayumi Nabetsu. We had Jack Levi, also known as Elliot Goblet. Joe White, who's a fantastic comedian from Western Australia, from Perth, and then further beyond that from Ethiopia, and Chris Franklin, the bloke comedian.
The bloke.
Yeah, so a little bit different. 10 comedians enter. They get trained in comedy. They also do lots of things like where you paint a nude person, and the person they were painting was the son of Mayumi Nabetsu, a Japanese comedian. And he had a body like you would sculpt his body. He was muscle and tone.
Made of stone.
He had abs of stone. And then Mayumi Nabetsu shouted at everyone, all those 10 students, to get naked as well.
Oh, my God.
And so they had to paint a nude while nude. Well,
wow.
Relatively. It's child safe. It is safe for work.
Sure, PG-13.
Yeah. So when I saw that Is This Thing On was coming out, I thought, okay, well, I've been ahead of the game a few times and now I am again.
Once again. Although, what were your box office takings?
Oh, well, here's a little scoop. We were kind of getting serenaded by the ABC. We pitched it to the ABC and they were keen to have it. They said, well, we want to see at least one episode. And it was a 6-part episode. So we filmed the whole thing. Everything was in the can. And then we produced the episode 4 first, so they could see a little bit of the journey in the show, and that was with Chris Franklin. Then they said, oh, this is fantastic. We really like this, but can you give us the first episode so we can see where it all begins? So again, I mean, this is all funded by myself and the community of Hard Knock Knocks community who put money together. And we got the first episode. And then they went, yeah. And then they changed the CEO of the ABC.
Oh.
Everyone went into their bunkers, not making any tough decisions. They didn't want to purchase a Australian first. They'd rather buy something that was proven from overseas. And they said, oh, yeah, no, we're not. And it was weird. We got a message saying, yeah, we don't really do factual comedies. Like, hang on. Well, what was the last 12 months all about?
Right.
What a lead on. So we went to Apple TV. So we had it on Apple TV, and that's where the IMDb reference comes from.
That's awesome. Well, if people want to check out the original Is This Thing On, you can have a look. We'll put it up with all the information on this episode.
Yeah. Although I do think Pink, the singer, has a song called Is This Thing On as well. So
sure.
That may even precede my TV show.
To be fair, you guys almost have the same haircut. So.
Yeah. I think she could beat me in an arm wrestle. Well, Lily, enough of me. Let's talk about beer.
Get on the beers rapidly.
Yes. What do we have in front of us today, Morry?
Oh, yeah. So, I go into Swords Beer and Wine in the South Melbourne market. Every time that the lady there behind the counter sees me, she has a little bit of dread because she's thinking, oh, God, I've got to get a new exotic beer. But she had one that I thought immediately that we have to have this one.
And it is the Barossa Valley Brewing Peanut Butter Chocolate Milkshake Stout.
Yes, and worryingly, it is a 2.1 standard drinks. And for those of you outside of Australia, that is how we rate alcohol these days. A typical can of beer in Australia is 375, sometimes 355, and would be about 1.2 to 1.4 standard drinks. So this is 2.1. This is more alcohol, and I'm trying to find the alcohol.
For those of you who've done their RSA and are interested, that's a 7%.
Wow.
That is a 7% in a 375 ml.
That's right.
And it does contain peanuts and lactose. So get fucked. If you're lactose intolerant or you're allergic to peanuts, you cannot have this.
Well, they would have a dying market share, wouldn't they?
Sure. So shall we crack it open? I think this one's going to go into a glass. While you open that, it says, warning, abandon all notions of what constitutes a beer. Inspired by a decadent American milkshake made with peanut butter cups and chocolate ice cream, this is a rich beer dessert. Initially brewed for the Great Australasian Beer Spectacular. That's hilarious. Spectacular. Great branding. Demand for this mind-bending beer has kept the brewers busy. We hope you enjoy this sweet beer experience.
So I poured mine into a glass just because stouts tend to need a bit of airing. And they're obviously very heavy, this one being incredibly so. So it's got, wow. It's not a chocolatey smell. It's
No, I definitely get the peanut butter cups.
Oh,
It's that scent of chocolate and peanut butter together.
Wow.
That's fine.
Oh, it's good on the front, sweet on the front, and then it hits you in the back of the mouth as well with that peanut butter. That it's almost gluggy at the back, like you know how peanut butter sticks to the bottom back of your mouth.
And the mouthfeel is the same actually. It has a coating.
Do not give this to the kids. They will be addicted.
That is certainly a dessert beer. I would have that with a bowl of ice cream. Actually, no, I'd have that with a nice like affogato or something. In fact, I wonder if you could make a I'll get back to you on that one. I reckon you could make an affogato, like put some coffee in that as well, chill it over ice cream.
It's almost like a cocktail on its own. If you put that in a cocktail glass with a cherry on top, it would be a good cocktail. It's almost like a vodka coffee martini.
Yeah, an espresso martini.
Espresso martini.
There's only, that bit of hops at the back that reminds you that it's a beer. Very well done.
Well done. That is one of my favourite.
I think that's the leader thus far.
Yeah, I am a big fan of that. And it wasn't overly priced. I think it was similar price around the $6 mark. Yep, around the $6 mark per can. And again, 2.1 drinks per 375. I want to add on the 375. So Australia is one of the few countries in the world that has 375 millilitres. Most of the European brands of beer that are here are all 355. The craft beers from Australia are kind of cheating us by going 355. But good old brands, and I want to, again, hats off to Barossa Valley Brewing, who are definitely a craft beer, have kept the Aussie tradition of 375.
Yeah, it just feels better in the hand.
The other thing you could do, if you do want to drink at work, is buy this because it looks like a can of Coke.
It does, and the way it sits in a glass as well looks like Coke.
Yeah, it looks like Coke. And it probably doesn't have that beer smell that would get you in trouble.
I follow this account that it's very satirical, but people don't know, so it gets a lot of rage bait. And it's a guy just giving tips for how to hide your alcohol from your bitch wife. And it'll be stuff like, get a Tic Tac container and put a shot of vodka in there and then pretend it's rubbish. And so she's like, I'm not going to clean up your rubbish. Anyway, it reminds me of that. We're just out here giving tips to drink responsibly.
Yeah. Yeah, drink responsibly. Yeah, and creatively as well.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I'm starting to lose mouthfeel.
My face. Bit of comedy history. Leslie Nielsen, one of my favourite actors of all time. He was born on the 11th of February, 1926.
So would that make him an Aquarius?
Yes, and the reason I know that is because he's smack bang between my brother's birthday and my mum's birthday, and they're both Aquarians.
Oh, there we go. He would have a joke in there.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
It's almost like he's here in the room. He spent decades playing straight dramatic roles before accidentally becoming one of comedy's greatest weapons, and that was in 1980 with Airplane, one of my favourite movies of all time.
Mm-hmm. And I like how you said greatest weapons because
The Naked Gun.
Naked Gun,
which is my second favourite movie franchise of all time.
Starring an alleged murderer later in life that was acquitted.
Yes, yes. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
That's right. We're talking about, of course,
O.J.
O.J. Simpson, yes.
He is, for better or for worse, one of the most, if not the most, notorious human beings, in the celebrity and sports culture ever.
O.J. Have you seen the remake? Not a reboot. It's the remake of The Naked Gun with Liam Neeson.
I have not. Did they hire him because of their surname being similar?
I don't know, but I do have to say, just going back to the Adam Sandler Happy Gilmore, they made a number 2 recently. I'm going to say it, absolute garbage. I'm sorry, Adam. I'm a big fan, but
shut up.
For nostalgia, beautiful. Like if I had the money and I had a hit like that and I wanted to be nostalgic, beautifully done. But in terms of a film, like killed off key characters straight away, made the entire first film redundant and a lot of dumb shit. However, this reboot of The Naked Gun with Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson, beautifully done.
Yep.
It feels like you're watching the original, but not in a bad way. The writing is very good, and I believe they retained or got back some of the original writers.
Yep.
Liam Neeson did a fantastic job. Pam Anderson, huge fan, can't say enough about how great she was. Very much recommend seeing the new Naked Gun.
Yeah, and just to emphasise, Leslie Nielsen, if he hadn't passed, would be 100 years old.
Wow.
Because he was born February 11, 1926.
And that's today. So happy 100th birthday, Leslie Nielsen.
Yes.
We'll pour action. In fact, I am going to have a drink for you right now.
Yeah. And just a little bit of trivia for the American listeners and probably the Australian listeners. It wasn't called Airplane in Australia.
Was it not?
No, it was called Flying High.
Really?
Yeah, because I think there was another movie that had already got that title,
right.
I suspect. And so I grew up being a Generation X, drink, watching Flying High and then watching American movies where they reference Airplane and going, that's not Airplane, it's Flying High.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I got all of my movies from LimeWire. And most of them were actually Rickrolls or Trojan viruses that killed the family computer.
Right.
However, when it was the correct movie, it was usually the American title.
Gotcha. I was in that window overseas in Asia where it was pre-DVD, it was a VCD, and a VCD came with 2 CDs or it came with 1 CD that was double-sided.
Wow.
And so you would put it in it looked like a DVD player. You would put it in there. You would watch half the movie. Then it would say turn like an old LP, like a record player. Turn it over. And guess what would happen? The second side half the time wouldn't work.
Yep.
Son of a gum-chewing funk monster. Why
so you got halfway through the movie, often in the middle of a sex scene or a fight scene, and then you flip it over and it's gone. Yeah.
It's very unfortunate.
VCDs.
I remember I actually had Titanic when it first came out on 2 VHSs because the movie and all the extras were so long that it required 2, which was always annoying. My brother and I would, fight over the VHS and then you wouldn't rewind it. And then I remember we pulled the tape out once. Anyway.
Oh, my goodness. VHSs, yep. Yes. Wow. Again, this is why Generation X's are so angry because we started with VHSs. Then for me, I went to VCD, didn't really hit Australia, then DVD, then Blu-ray, and then streaming.
Would have been a very bad time to be an early adopter and, all those cashed up, coked up people in the 80s all buying those big brick phones and then had to replace them. Joke's on you guys.
I even had a mini disc as well. Mini discs were they competed against the MP3 file.
Right.
It was, you would get your CD, which was high fidelity, the highest quality. Then you would record it onto a little CD, which was the mini disc. That was a physical disc that went into a cassette player. I think Sony or one of the Japanese companies had invented this. But it only had pretty much the same number of songs as the original CD.
So what was the point, that it was smaller to carry?
Yeah, essentially.
So I had a Walkman, and to be fair, it was all like unskippable technology. Like you'd sneeze and you'd skip. It was terrible. Remember those? And then I guess the crossover with millennials and Gen X, you guys made mixtapes. We burned CDs, right?
Yes,
so we would just burn all our CDs, and we'd have our whole CD wallet in our car.
Yep, CD wallets. We had those as well.
Good times.
Yeah.
Kids these days wouldn't know.
No, they just stream from their phone and no one makes money.
To be fair, my teachers used to say to me, you're not going to have a calculator with you everywhere you go. Mate, I've got a fucking computer in my pocket now. I don't need any of that.
You've got every library, every scientific white paper.
And I say that to my kids. If they, if they ask me something absolutely mundane, I'm like, you have everything in your hand right there. Please go and search it, work it out. Because I actually read that a new study has now come out about Generation Z. For the first time in human history, Generation Z actually have a lower IQ than...
What? I am dumb, okay? Dumb as a post.
Every generation has gone up in IQ.
Right.
Much like my generation, we were the first generation in human history to have a lower quality of living than the generations before us. So every other generation that's gone do-do-do-do-do-do, and then it started to go downhill.
Wow. All right. Well, I will let my 16-year-old son know.
I won't. They're too dumb and poor to care.
All right. Well, that's a lot of information we've just shared with the audience, but we've got more information.
We do. I don't know if you know this.
I don't know if you know this, kids.
No, tell us. I don't know.
Fred Ott's sneeze.
No idea.
Was made in 1894. I'm not saying that incorrectly. 1894. And it was a short film known as Fred Ott's Sneeze, and it was recorded in Thomas Edison's lab.
Mm-hmm.
It showed Fred Ott, Edison's assistant, taking snuff and then sneezing.
Okay.
And that's literally it. And I have it here for you to see, and we'll put it up for everyone. You can also see it.
So I'm looking at a Wikipedia page that's labelled Fred Ott's Sneeze, and it's very grainy, and he has a big mustache from the 1890s, on point, on brand. He's wearing a 3-piece suit and a big fat tie. He's taking some snuff and he is sneezing, and that's
it.
Unremarkable.
That's it. However, although it wasn't made for comedic purposes, it did get cited as one of the first comedic performances purely because people hadn't seen anyone in motion like that before.
No.
Imagine, you've only ever seen drawings and cartoons and things like that, and then you just see a guy snorting some snuff and sneezing.
And, your world would be blown away. You might be in a different continent going, they sneeze just like us.
Everyone, well, I don't know how they would have got in 1894, how they would have taken a while to get it to another continent.
No, it would have been film. Early film, very early film. But in the meantime, I did have an interview with another comedian, a fantastic comedian based in Tasmania, a real-life Tasmanian. His name is Ned. Red Ned.
I like to call him Big Red Ned Townsend myself.
There we go. He is a fantastic comedian. He travels around Australia with two comedians that our listeners might know. We've just mentioned earlier in this episode, Chris Franklin, the bloke. And then occasionally, for a few months every year, all the way from Canada, is Lars Kallio. And we'll probably get Lars in this studio sometime near the Comedy Festival.
Sure. One of my favourite things about Lars, aside from being just a very, very nice human being, is his car journey, right? His trip on his car. He's almost hit 1 million.
Well, we actually talk about that with Ned in the interview.
Wow.
So yeah, that Jetta story, the Volkswagen Jetta.
Yeah. Well, don't give it all away. Let's have a listen now.
Yeah. Hello, Red Ned. How are you, mate?
I'm great, mate. Pleasure to be here.
Very good. Well, you're in Hobart right now.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on the show. It's not a pleasure to be where I physically am. It's quite cold.
It is cold, is it? I've not been to Hobart, been to Launceston. I think it's about a 2.5 hour drive between the two.
Yeah, around about that. It's about 15, 16 beers, depends how quick you can.
Right. I know that's very pertinent because I know you do a lot of work with Chris Franklin. And so I'm sure that he knows down to the can how many beers it is.
Oh, absolutely. Down to the last drop. He's got that shit dialed in to military precision.
Yeah, I imagine. So, Ned, I know that you tour a lot of Australia. We are talking about the Hobart Festival of Comedy, Great Order. It sounds almost like a university. It's not the Melbourne University. It's the University of Melbourne. Very important. This is not Hobart. This is the Hobart Festival of Comedy, not the Comedy Festival of Hobart.
That's right. We just wanted something to trip people up.
Yeah, not the People's Front of Judea, the Judean People's Front. Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah, that's exactly it.
And am I right? Is it March 18 to 22?
Yep, that's exactly right. Yep, it's 4 days and they are cramming so much in. If you go on the website, there's a ridiculous amount of stuff happening over that 4 days all around the centre of Hobart.
Wow, fantastic. And now the other thing that we know, probably in the mainland, more than jokes about two-headed people, is MONA, which is the Museum of...
It's Museum of Old and New Art.
Old and New Art. And it would be one of the most eclectic museums in the world.
It really is. Every exhibit, every corner you turn around, there's something new. It's insane.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're finding them because Mona itself is actually on a little island in the Derwent River. And they built the first bit of the museum on top of the island, and they've actually been digging down into the island. Okay. And I feel like they just keep finding all these weird treasures there and putting them on display.
And I bring up Mona because they run Dark Mofo, which is another festival, and they run the Hobart Festival of Comedy, which is March.
Yeah,
March
I believe
18.
there's some weird twisty spiderweb connections all the way through there to get to the Hobart Festival of Comedy.
Yep. No, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I understand that around the same time, you are going on a bit of a tour around Tasmania. And just for the American listeners, Tasmania has the Tasmanian devil. No Z in the word Tasmania, is there? There's no Z in... No.
It's an S. Yeah, Tasmanian.
It is Tasmania, but the Americans...
But everyone pronounces it with the Z, so we just lean into it.
Well, the Americans spell it with a Z, at least with the Tassie devil, the Tasmanian devil from Looney Tunes. Anyway.
Looney Tunes.
I'm a little bit older than you.
They actually spell it with a Z. They don't say Z.
No, that's correct. That's correct, yeah. Now, you are touring around Tasmania. A good friend of mine as well, Lars Kallio.
Yes, the Canadian wonder himself, yeah. Lars has been coming down here for the last, I think this is his 5th year of coming down to Tasmania to do a week or two of shows with me. And we go everywhere. We go to regional towns, we go to Hobart, we go to Launceston, we do vineyards, we do backyards, we do cafes, we do all kinds of gigs all over the place, and it's always a great time. So we've got 2 weeks. 2 weeks in the middle of March with Lars this year.
Well, Lars is an interesting surname, but easy to spell because it has every vowel in it and only one of each vowel. So C-A-L, Kallio, I think it's double L-I-E-O-U, I believe that's...
I-E-O-U, yes.
I-E-O-U. So as long as you've used every vowel, you've spelt his name right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easy. No problem at all. Now, he's aside from his surname, he's also famous for his Jetta, his Volkswagen Jetta. What is he on at the moment? He's done how many kilometres across Canada?
So it's a 2009 Volkswagen Jetta. He bought it new off the showroom floor in 2009.
Yep.
And as of a couple of days ago, the odometer has clicked over 900,000 kilometers.
Right. Same engine. He hasn't changed anything. It's
same engine and same gearbox. I think it's still got the original brakes on it. I'm not sure, but the tires are definitely different.
Yeah, it reminds me of the ship of
the ship of Theseus.
Theseus, yeah. Like, is it the original Jetta? I guess it is because it's got the engine and the gearbox. But I believe you're writing a story or a show.
I am actually. I'm writing a show around the ship of Theseus to do with my car, actually, because I have a 2006 Holden Commodore Ute.
Yeah,
and my dad dubbed that the ship box of Theseus because it is not, because Lars, his car is exactly the same as he bought it. My car, there is nothing on this car that is the same as when I bought it. It is like, at what point is it just a brand new car?
No.
I've changed everything on this car. It has a different engine. It has a different gearbox, the wheels, the steering wheel, the seats, everything that can be changed on this car has gone in and out. So yeah, I'm writing a show about the process of that.
And a car that is very rare these days, given that we don't have a car industry in Australia anymore.
Yeah, this is true. This is absolutely true. I mean, you see them like a lot on the road, but every time I go to the wreckers to go and get new parts for it, there's less and less of them there.
Yeah, that's right.
They're a dying breed.
That is sad. There are two main rooms in Hobart, my understanding, if this is correct. They're essentially sister rooms, aren't they? Clubhouse, the Clubhouse, and Fresh Comedy.
Yes.
Is the Clubhouse in Hobart?
Yes, the Clubhouse is in Hobart, and that was, I believe it was the first mainstay room that we had here.
Yep.
And then we have Fresh Comedy, which is in Launceston up the other end. And both of those, I think they've been running for 15 years, I think, because I performed at their 10-year anniversary, and that would have been about 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
So I think that both of these rooms are up to 15 years running here in Tasmania.
Oh, that's fantastic. And only a 2.5-hour drive between the two. But I imagine comedians, that's a pretty good drive, actually. You could do one night, do a Friday, and then do a Saturday. Is that the idea?
You do a Thursday in Hobart, and then you do a Friday up in Launceston.
And then you get either the boat or the plane over to the mainland. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fantastic because like a big name headliner will come down from the mainland, or as you call it, Australia. And then we have all of our wonderful local acts here, and it's a great opportunity for them to go and do support spots and meet these people and mingle and start to get on some bigger stages.
Yeah. Of the big names that go to the Clubhouse and Fresh Comedy, are we talking people like Heath Franklin?
Yeah, so Heath Franklin's Chopper will be down for a Clubhouse and Fresh run in the middle of March.
Yep.
Then Mel Buttles booked in, Ray O'Leary, Luke Heggie is coming back. We always love having him down
Luke's
here.
great.
Yeah, lots of great people. And then for the Hobart Festival of Comedy, we've got people like Ivana Aristogeta coming back, who's always fantastic, and just a plethora of names that you might not see it like on TV, but if you're a regular at festivals anywhere else around the country, you've probably seen these people before, and it's their first time for a lot of them to come to Tassie, which is great.
Yeah. Well, you might be at the bottom of the earth, but it sounds like you've got some amazing comedians that come down, and it is a most remarkable part of the world. So, why wouldn't you want to come down to Hobart or Launceston and the drive between them as a pro comedian? So that's probably a call out to all the pro comedians, who would like to see a little bit more of Australia.
Yep, get yourself down here. We still count.
You do. Count. Well, I mean, you have one of the biggest boat races in the world. What's the Sydney to Hobart? It's the only time rich people use the word handicap is when they're sailing a boat between those two cities.
Yeah, it was quite a contentious finish this year, I've heard. Yes, with that handicap.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you who won or what a single boat that was in it, but we do know the Sydney to Hobart yacht race. Ned, I look forward to seeing you in person. You're coming to the Melbourne International Comedy Festival with Lars, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm doing my own show. Check out the festival website for it.
Yeah, well, tell us. Well, we've got a couple of minutes left. What is the show? Tell us about that.
The show's called 1 in 7.8 billion, and it's basically a collection of all of my favourite and best stand-up that I've done over the last almost 15 years of me doing stand-up comedy since I first started.
Yep.
It's fast, it's tight, it's a little bit silly, it's a little bit cheeky. There's something in it for everyone. And so I'll be at the Wolfhound up in Fitzroy.
Fitzroy. Well, Ned, I look forward to meeting you again in person when you're in Melbourne, and maybe even getting you along to the Business of Comedy conference, which we've got lined up later in that Melbourne Comedy Festival window. So
it sounds fantastic.
All right. Well, cheerio. So as you heard, over 900,000 kilometres in his Volkswagen Jetta.
Yep.
But I want to add, he doesn't just drive in Canada.
No.
Lars does a lot of the driving when he's in Australia as well. So Chris and Ned and Lars, they often drive down from Alice Springs, or at least the top of Australia, all the way down through Uluru, down to South Australia, and then probably to Melbourne.
Yep.
So there's probably another 100,000 kilometres that he's done.
And what I love about that trip is they always make sure to gig all the way down and hit up, if they can, different venues, newer venues, try to grace localities that haven't had, especially such big names in comedy.
Yeah.
A funny aside to Lars and his vetted journey, I've been considering reaching out to Red Bull actually, because I think it would be quite a low investment for them, but if you could get a dash cam or something going and just put a Red Bull sticker, I quite frankly think that's probably one of the most extreme sports to come out of Canada. Would just be waiting for that to trip over to 1 million.
Yeah.
Which it's not going to do. I believe it goes back to 0 ?
Well, yeah, it's like the Millennium Bug, isn't it? Is there another number after? Do they have a little click over?
I looked into it and it's going to go back to 0.
Back to 0, and then the car's going to swerve left and crash into a pole.
That's right. And it'll say, sorry.
That's it. We're kind of out of time. This has been a fantastic episode. We've done a lot.
Yeah, I think Morry's got an appointment for a lobotomy, which should improve his whole vibe next week.
I cannot have a normal conversation after drinking a 2.1% beer. Sorry.
It's just it goes down very well.
Yeah, I also haven't had breakfast or lunch, so.
Yeah, eat responsibly.
Yeah, do everything responsibly.
Just be responsible.
Yeah.
Oh, well, until next week.
Yeah.
Morry, it's been This Week in Comedy.
This Week in Comedy.
Be more entertaining. I'm glad you liked that. I just did a little bit of weed.